Right. So we are live on YouTube and Thankful Thursday, and turn it over to you guys, and hopefully other folks will be coming in as we go along. Right. Are live on YouTube and Thankful.
Okay. All right. We're on lesson 92. Miracles are seen in light and strength are one. I'm usually focused on lesson 91 because I love how in there it says that the miracle is always there. In fact, let me just read lesson 91, part of it, because it's just so perfect and so beautiful. And I refer to it all the time with my clients. So I already said good morning before we went live, and I'll now say hello to Deb. She just joined us, and we'll see who joins us later on for Thankful Thursday. Lesson 91, Miracles are seen in light. And paragraph 1 reads, and we're actually on 92, Deb, but I'm reviewing 91. It is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. This needs repeating and frequent repeating. Yes, like millions of times, right? How many times do we have to repeat the course stuff before we get it or it goes in permanently? It is a central idea in your new thought system and the perception that it produces. The miracle is always there. That's the part I love. The miracle is always there. And so we can have faith in that. We can trust in that. We can know that whatever crap we're going through right now, the miracle is always there. And it's a shift in perception. It's just like Nisargadatta Maharaj would have put his thumb and his index finger together and rub them together and say, it's just a shift from the thumb to the finger. That's it. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is affected. You will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark. How more hopeful can anything be than that statement that it's always there? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to meditate hard. You don't have to pray hard. You don't have to change anything because it's there for you. It's there for you right here, right now. And you will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark. So um, later on in the lesson, it goes on and says, miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I am not a body. What am I? So here it goes and says, if you think you're an ego, you think you're a body, you think you're a personality, you think you're a separate person, you're not going to see the miracle because that's not light. Light, Christ's vision, is seeing and knowing that we are something beyond what appears to our body's eyes. All the things we see with the body's eyes, form, other bodies, wars, problems, those are of the ego. And so we have to then say, what we do need to do is choose again. We need to say, okay, I must be seeing wrongly. Okay, Holy Spirit, I choose again. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Lesson 190. That's one of my favorites. Or I choose the miracle. Or I choose to see through the light. Or Holy Spirit, take my little willingness and show this to me because I can't do it. That's one of my favorites too. I can't do it, Holy Spirit. You do it for me. And it's always done every single time, every single time. So when this says, but I am not a body, what am I? Since the body's eyes do not perceive the light, it says, if you are not a body, what are you? You need to be aware of what the Holy Spirit uses to replace the image of a body in your mind. Replace the image of a body in your mind. So here we are. We go all the way around. We look, all we see are bodies. All we see is form. Everything is form, pretty much, unless we're training our minds to go, whoops, I'm seeing wrongly. Let me see past this. So replace the image of a body in your mind. You need to feel something to put your faith in as you lift it from the body. You need a real experience of something else, something more solid and more sure, more worthy of your faith and really there. So Jesus right here is acknowledging how hard it is for us to shift our perception from our usual perception of bodies and form and seemingly exterior world to Christ's vision. But he then, even though he's acknowledging that it's hard for the body, it is easy for spirit, and you are spirit. Then he says, if you're not a body, what are you? Ask this in honesty and then devote several minutes to allowing your mistaken thoughts about your attributes to be corrected and their opposites to take their place. Say, for example, I am not weak, but strong. I am not helpless, but all powerful. I am not limited, but unlimited. And, Unity Church, one of their key songs that they sing is, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. Isn't that a great song? I've been singing that. I like burst out in song and I sing that to my grandchildren. And it's so cool. One day I had been singing that to my grandkids or playing it on YouTube. There's this really cool version where she does a bluesy kind of version at Unity of Seattle, and it's bluesy, and you just can't help but move to it and snap your fingers. And anyway, later on that day, my grandkids were on the swing set, and one of the little ones, she just bursts out singing, "I am free, I am unlimited." And I love that. I love it, love it, love it. Love teaching them truthful things. And I do meditation with them, and that's how we start. When I get over there to their house, we go, what do we start with? Meditation. And so we sit down and one sits on one leg, the other sits on the other leg. And when the third one is home from school, she sits in the middle. And I'll say, who are you? It's just like this lesson. I'm not a body. What am I? I just say who. Who are you? And they've got it down. I am the perfect child of God. Yay. And it's so cool. It's just so cool. So miracles are seen in light, and that's 91, lesson 91, and the miracle's always there. And then we go to lesson 92, which is today's lesson. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. So Dove, I'll go a little bit longer unless you want to speak sooner, since Sharon's not going to be with us.
Oh, please do. Go ahead.
Okay. So lesson 92, miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. The idea for today is an extension of the previous one. You do not think of light in terms of strength and darkness in terms of weakness. That is because your idea of what seeing means is tied up with the body and its eyes and brain. Thus, you believe that you can change what you see by putting little bits of glass before your eyes. This is among the many magical beliefs that come from the conviction you are a body and the body's eyes can see. So this conviction that you are a body, and anytime we have symptoms, it's very easy. It's natural for us to think we're a body and we need to fix the body's symptoms. For example, the last 2 weeks, I have had a stiff neck and a very sore elbow. It's hard to lift things. And I attribute that, the ego in me attributes that to the blizzard we had 2 weeks ago, where I shoveled snow twice a day, very heavy snow twice a day for 4 days in a row. And then finally, my neck and elbow screamed, stop. Well, fortunately, the snow stopped by that point too. And good morning, Mickey. We're on lesson 92. And then yesterday, it's like, what are you doing? You're the holy child of God. You are light. You are the perfection of God. You're the health of God. You don't have a neck problem. You don't have an elbow problem. And I have spent 2 weeks going, I've got to get rid of this neck problem. What do I do? I've been doing all my stretches. I went to the chiropractor, and I thought when I went to the chiropractor that it would go away. And no, it didn't. Usually it does. And I thought, well, now I got to go get a massage, and I'm putting on the heating pads and doing my I have one of those little hooks that you put in your back to loosen up knotted up muscles and stuff. I'm doing all of that. And still it hasn't been very good, but today it's better than ever. And I attribute that not to heating pads or anything, but oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Shift in identity, shift in base. Where's your base? Is your base the body? Is your foundation that you're a body and then you're doing everything to make that body well? Or is your base, your foundation? I am spirit. I am whole. Where do you start from? Where's your foundation? And it's like, oh, that's right. What the heck? I got totally caught up and that's what I do. That's why I admire you, Lynn, and other people who, and Karen, she's not on right now, but people who have all these physical problems, lots of painful stuff, and still keep the faith, and you still keep positive and you still keep going, because I'll tell you, physical stuff pulls me right into the body, right into the ego, and I can't seem to find my way out until like 2 weeks later. Wait a minute, you've been doing all of this stuff of, I've been doing a lot of meditation on being the light, and I've been reading Dr. Sue Morter. She talks about central channel breathing and breathing the light into your spine and then breathing it down to the earth and then bring it back up and sending it to the heavens. But anyway, just meditative breathing on our core being. And what was I doing it for, or what was I doing it with this perspective of, yes, this is going to fix the neck and fix the elbow. No, it's going to fix my mind that thinks I have a neck and thinks that I have an elbow that are broken, And so because her whole thing is just the same as A Course in Miracles. You change your identity, you change your focus over to the light. You are the light. You are the light stream. You are the energy. You are source. You are divine light and love and wholeness, not the body. And so I was, again, the ego gets in there and uses everything wrongly. So good morning, Mikhail. I don't know if you pronounce your name Mikhaili, Mikhail. I have no idea. But good morning. So we're on lesson 92. And oh, I see you there. I saw, I think maybe your dog or something. Okay, so miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. And this is saying that we don't think of light in terms of strength. And the other lessons associated with this that I really like are lesson 42, God is my strength, vision is his gift. And 47, God is the strength in which I trust. Because when I think of the ego that I've been associated with, it's I'm weak. I'm not strong. I can't do this. I can't handle this life. And that is just ego. Because of course I can handle this life if I'm the holy child of God, if I'm the perfection of God, if there's no will but God's and God's will and my will are one, then I am strong. I am strong. And I love lesson 199. I am not a body, I am free. There's a paragraph in there that says, the mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever. Unlimited forever. Nothing can affect us. We're totally imperturbable. We are strength. We are light. We are wholeness. So the mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever in all ways, beyond the laws of time and space, unbound by any preconception, and with strength and power to do all that salvation would ask. And so when I think that I am limited by body pains, like, oh, I'm getting older, and here's one more ache and one more pain that I didn't have before. Well, that doesn't sound like unlimited to me. And we just can look at Dove. Dove, you're such a prime example of someone. You're 85 and you're vital and you're healthy, and it's like, well, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I choose. And I notice that when I don't put my identity on the body or on the personality, and I put my identity on vibrancy, life, wholeness, God is life, God is light, God is wholeness, God is vibrancy, all these things, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better than when I say, oh, this body is aging and one more thing every week. And I've been working with this healer, this psychic healer, that is just shifting me and bringing me back to this joy that I had lost. And I looked at that this morning and I was going, when did I lose it? Ah, when I turned 67 and my birthday came up, and I went, I've been doing this every single day for 40 years, and I'm not where I want to be. Total identification with the body, total identification with the life or the body that's aging. I should be better off than what I'm doing. Total, that's not the right base. The base is life. The base is light. The base is energy and information and wholeness. And when I get to there, and I know you can hear it in my voice, and I've started laughing again, and I've started feeling joy again. And it's like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot who this was, or who the real person. Who are you? I am the perfect child of God. And then I give them, the little grandkids, a high five. Um, okay, so this is saying that miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Paragraph 2 reads, you also believe the body's brain can think. If you but understood the nature of thought, you could but laugh at this insane idea. It is as if you thought you held the match that lights the sun and gives it all its warmth, or that you held the world within your hand, securely bound until you let it go. Yet this is no more foolish than to believe the body's eyes can see, the brain can think. And I love that. And I have a friend that I put his name right here in the column, in the margin here. I make all kinds of notes in my book. And he had said that a long time before I really even got strongly into A Course in Miracles. And he's not a Course in Miracles student, but he had had an awakening. And he said that to our group at our interfaith center. He said, the brain doesn't think, the brain is a filter. And one of the books that confirmed that for me was Eben Alexander's Proof of Heaven. He was the neurosurgeon who had a death experience, and from meningitis, I think. And he used to poo-poo people's ideas that there was life after death and when they would see their loved ones when they would die. But he had that whole experience. And so then in the appendix of his book, he goes down point by point all the arguments that scientists or brain scientists say, well, it's just chemicals in the brain that cause these near-death experiences, or cause you to feel the warmth, or cause you to see your loved ones at the point of death. And he goes over each one point by point with medical information and says, nope, because of this, nope, because of that. And he says, just like my friend had said, from his awakening, not from scientific studies, that the brain is just a filter. The brain, the body's brain, is a filter. It's a perception filter so that we can't see reality. And that's what A Course in Miracles says. It says we're not going to see or think with the body's eyes or with the brain. Those are filtering out reality. They're filtering out oneness. But miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. So what's our role in this? The miracle's always there. And if the miracle's always there, our role is to choose it. Our role is to say, yep, that's what I want. Yep. And I was noticing also this morning the how we limit ourselves. So here we are saying that the mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever in all ways. And yet we're the ones who limit ourselves by saying, well, I'm aging, so I must be, I must be getting this ache and this pain every week, and everyone else around me is aging, so I must get it too. Well, I mentioned earlier that I was starting to work with this psychic healer, and he was saying, that's a belief in your energetic field. And I'm like, a belief in my energetic field. And good morning, Pas. Pas, peace in each aliento moment, peace in each moment. Um, so he says, that's a belief in your energetic field. And I'm going, it's a belief. It's a belief. I thought it was just a fact. And it's like, he said, good point. If it's a fact, there would be no exceptions. So, do you have any exceptions? Do you know people who are vibrant and healthy, no matter what their age is? And I said, yes, I do. I worked in a assisted living center when I was 18, and there were a couple people. It was like age did not define them, did not define them at all. They were unlimited. They were vibrant. They were healthy. So how could it be a fact? And it was like, yeah, I kept feeling like, well, if everyone else has it, then I must have to get it too. I must have to get sick too. I can't, who am I to deserve to not get sick if everyone else is? And it's like, whoa, that's a belief. That sure is a negative belief, identifying yourself with a body and identifying everybody else as a body. And look at that kind of thought. Everyone must get sick as they age. Whoa, that's an attack. That is just an attack. And it's like, even aging, the idea of aging, if there's no time, what's aging? It's an attack thought. It's an attack thought. And I'm like going, whoa. And then if we look down here, paragraph 4, strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. So let me go back to paragraph 3 because it explains what it's overlooking, what appearances it's overlooking. It is God's strength in you that is the light in which you see, as it is his mind with which you think. His strength, not our own, his strength denies your weakness. So if I have a stiff neck and a sore elbow that I can't lift things up, that's my weakness, right? What I think is mine. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering about in darkness to behold the likeness of itself. Yep, all of our bodies are aging and we're just getting more and more decrepit by the day, right? The small, the weak, the sickly, and the dying, those in need, the helpless and afraid, the sad, the poor, the starving, and the joyless. These are seen through eyes that cannot see and cannot bless. So when I'm accepting people that are sickly and dying as the truth, and like this healer pointed out to me, you're accepting that as truth. I'm like, whoa, how can I be accepting that as just the way things are when I'm a course student? And good morning, Steve. And so we're on lesson 92, and I'm on paragraph 4. Strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. It keeps its steady gaze upon the light that lies beyond them. It unites with light of which it is a part. So that's what I've been doing, these meditations where I am the light. The light is what I am, not that the light is coming into me, into the body, but I am the light itself. And it is the light is what's forming all the appearances. The light is what's coming in and then projecting back out like that projector. I'm that light. So that change of base, the change of my identity, the change of the foundational premise from which I start. So it's just so amazing to me that I could be studying this every single day for 40 years and then, oops, I missed that. Oh my gosh, didn't see the basic premise of I'm still this body. I still think I'm this body. It's just it's laughable. And I'm glad I'm laughing. I feel so good about laughing again because ever since, my birthday last October, which I thought I'm getting old and I'm getting older and this sucks and it's just getting worse week by week. Um, I had not been laughing. And I had said in the past, if I'm not laughing, there's something wrong. And I was kind of, I was aware of it, like what's going on? Now, this was not the case when I was in Mexico, but it's the case here in Michigan. Of course, then I could say, well, it's the external. It's the snow and the gray skies here in Michigan compared to the sunny skies in Mexico. But that's also a belief. That doesn't have to be because I'm laughing now and it's gray out. So again, is it a fact? No, it's a belief. It's a belief. So I love this lesson that says that I'm strong because God is strong. You know, the light of the self, capital S, is inherently strong. It's inherently unlimited, and we're not bound to appearances of the world because certainly the appearance of the world are dark. They've always been dark. A lot of people say it's worse now than it's ever been. I don't agree with that. I think it was worse during World War II. I think Vietnam was worse. There's been a lot of times I think have been a lot worse than what we're seeing now. Are there a lot of icky, terrible things out there? Yeah. Yeah, there are. But there always have been. And the world is designed that way. The world of form is designed to look that way. But the Course says we don't look at the world or ourselves and the world, I mean, with the body's eyes. Perception is projection. Projection makes perception. So perception is not a fact. So just like this healer was telling me, you think the body has to age. Is that a fact? It's like, no, it's not a fact. That's perception. And projection makes perception. So when he was saying, you have all these beliefs in your energy field that you have to age, that you have to be decrepit, and that as you age, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, whoa, are you kidding me? That's in my energetic field as a belief. Oh, well, I'm done with that. Since I can choose again, you know, I'm choosing again. I don't choose those beliefs. I choose what the Course tells me. I choose that miracles are seen in light and light and strength are one. I choose that, I am the light. And is there darkness in the light? No, because the light shines away the darkness. Is there illness in God? No. God is perfection, so I'm just so grateful to have these exposed because it's like the Course talks about the dark cornerstones of the ego that need to be brought to the light and cleared out. And I'm like, heck, I did not even know that those were there. So I am just so incredibly grateful for being led to this healer, being led to practices of embodiment of the light. It's so weird because this Dr. Sue Morter, who talks about the God body and talks about you are really the light and this is how you heal the chakras and all that. I would have just tossed that out even a month ago. Nothing. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with the body. Don't tell me that the body can be a God body. I just want to exit this planet. I hate this planet. I want nothing to do with form. And it was like up and hitting a wall and saying, okay, God, help me, and led right back to this. Oh my gosh, it's a joke. It's a cosmic joke. And then Mickey, you wrote in the chat, peace in every breath. And yeah, you said there have been times that have been much worse, like the Inquisition and the bubonic plague. Yeah, definitely. I agree. And Steve, you wrote, I am very grateful for my aging body. It's a rare opportunity to know love. When I stop having a breathing body, my precious life stops. I don't know if I agree with you on that. Well, your precious life as Steve stops, or your precious life in this incarnation stops, but I don't think life ever stops. I think life is forever and eternal, and life is life is life. It always goes on. Different forms. Certainly the form changes. Absolutely. So anyway, Dove, I'm going to turn the mic over to you or to anyone else who wants to join in. I've spoken for quite a while now, so I don't need to speak anymore if everyone wants to take over. Okay. Bye, everyone. Oh, bye for this moment. Okay. Turning the mic over.
Okay, you're such a wonderful partner to have. I mean, I love sharing with Lori because she loves to share. Today's a day which probably I'd like to hear from someone else. So we have a lot of people in the room. Does anyone want to share at all? At this point, we listened to Lori for a half hour, and she went through so many good things. So, does anyone want to share? I don't see any hands up. If you do want to share, just put your hand up. Thank you so much. Just as you were coming towards the end, you started to get into um, projection makes perception, which is the way we see right now. And, I sent this out to a few people this morning. If I didn't send it to you, I apologize, but I sent it out. We're going to be talking about this during the next hour when we speak about the 3 A's of metaphysics. It came to me as we are delving into the metaphysics is that, when I first entered into it, I thought there was probably about 8 or 10 ideas in the course which are metaphysical ideas, such as there is no world. I mean, this is a showstopper. What do you mean there's no world? This is the central theme this course teaches. There is no world. Really? What do you mean by that? Or the one in chapter 18, section 6, beyond the body. There's nothing outside of you. Huh? Are you crazy? So the metaphysical principles, some of them seem to be very obvious, like two I just mentioned, or even I'm not a body. That seemed to be numero uno. I'm not a body. What? What do you mean I'm not a body? So those are the so-called, to me, the obvious metaphysical principles. It came to me last week after our Thursday sharing. I was on a private line with Karen, and it came to me that, my God, everything is a metaphysical principle when seen correctly. What do you mean by seeing correctly? Well, the way we see right now is exactly what you were saying, Lori. Projection makes perception. We're seeing with the body's eyes, but we're not a body. Well, if you're not a body and you're seeing with body's eyes, maybe you're not seeing correctly. Exactly. I'm not seeing correctly. Then how do you see? I don't know how it happened, but it was like last Saturday, as you know, I had this well, it was down at Alan Ishak's home on Fifth Avenue. A few of us got together with John Mundy and Lisa Natoli and Vicky Poppy and a lot of others who basically were sharing. And always just before I do a sharing like that, Holy Spirit gives me something that I didn't have before. It's just part of my relationship with Spirit. And this one was lesson 138, which happens to be heaven is the decision I must make. And we were talking about how everything here is a decision. It's also a choice. Let me choose once again. Where you once chose wrongly before, you're given another chance to choose rightly now. So choice and decision, the power of decision is my own. uh, the power of decision is your last remaining freedom in this prison world. Really? Yeah. And then Holy Spirit slips in on Friday. Heaven is a decision that I must make. Oh, you mean it doesn't come without me deciding for it, for heaven? Yeah. And then he tells you how to do it in lesson 138. And I just want to note before we get into lesson 138, notice that 138 precedes 139, which is I will accept the atonement for myself, which is our only, this is your sole responsibility in this world. You have no other responsibility. My only responsibility is I will accept the atonement for myself. And notice 139 is followed by 140. Two of the most powerful lessons in the course. Only, keyword is only salvation can be said to cure. So what do you mean by cure rather than, just save or, or forgive or something like that? What do you mean by cure? A cure is when you've completely eradicated the idea of guilt. And guilt is like something that you use in this world to blame, shame, guilt. And if guilt is eradicated, there's nothing for it to return to. Like Steve, as a doctor, would understand when they say it's gone from the planet. There's nothing for it to return to. It's gone. It's simply gone. It's nothing left. So since this whole course is about removing guilt, 138, 139, and 140 does the job very easily. But 138 is where he tells you how to do it. I'm going to read a couple of these passages. He says, in this world, heaven is a choice because here we lie, that there are alternatives to choose between. Yeah, this is a world of polar opposites. Oh, yeah, there's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong, there's you, there's me, there's us. It's always, it's a mirrored world. And that's because, after eons and eons of being a body, you use the body's eyes and do you know how AI is like always right? Well, guess what? The AI machine of the body's brain, or that part of us that we think is seeing something, is a AI blame machine. That's what this world is. It's an AI blame machine. And it only happens exactly as you said, Laurie. Projection makes perception. You can't help take the blame and the guilt that you feel that you don't want anymore and see it elsewhere. That's what this whole world is about. Seeing blame, shame, and guilt elsewhere. It's not over here, which keeps the virus alive. And he tells you here, I think it's in like paragraph 2, he says, one belief in sickness takes another form, and so the patient now perceives himself as well. So I'm a little bit better off than that sick SOB out there who did God knows what. That's on the 6 o'clock news. Yet he is not healed. He merely had a dream that he was sick. And in the dream, he found a magic formula to make him well. Yeah, this guy is really sick. I'm well. But this is a world of opposites. He looks a lot darker than me, man. I mean, at least I'm living in the shadows, but he is without light. And and light and strength are one. So I'm coming from my powerlessness. I'm coming from my weakness. Yeah, there's no light around. I'm the light. He's the dark. Well, if you see dark, you ain't the light. So remember that line in the last unanswered question, chapter 21, section 7? Do you not see that all of your misery comes from your strange belief, lie, that you, the Holy Son of God, is powerless? He's laughing. He's laughing and laughing and laughing. The exact opposite is true. You're powerful beyond measure, pretending, oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm not what you see. Yep, they used to put me in Group C, which is people who can't sing. Anyway, he says over here, this is how to see. It says, when you use the body's eyes, you're basically perceiving. Projection makes perception, and you can be sure your teacher is the ego. That's how the ego sees. Projection makes perception. So the whole idea of this world is, who is your teacher? There's only two possible teachers. There's only two possible purposes, as you find in lesson 25. my mantra lesson, which is, I don't know what anything is for. And he starts right off. He says, purpose is meaning, and there's only two. You're either listening to the ego's purpose, which is survival. I'm better than, I'm the king. There's no kings. I'm sorry, there's no kings. I'm the best. Okay, all right. That means nobody else is as good as you. That's right. Or Holy Spirit. And we all say, oh, I love Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, please show me the way. Well, if you're willing to say, I do not know what anything is for, Holy Spirit will certainly show you the way, but you have to get out of the way first. Like lesson 155, let me step back and let him lead the way. Holy Spirit, I don't know the way. Please show me the way. I don't know what anything is for. And that's what Holy Spirit does. But Spirit does one thing that's completely different than the ego. The ego projects. It's like throwing a hot potato. Yeah, it's yours. It's not mine anymore. Spirit, on the other hand, doesn't throw anything. Spirit just extends, simply extends. Extends what? Love. Sees light and love in all that he sees, because That's what love is. That's what God is. It's seeing oneness, sameness, equality. And in this oneness and sameness and equality, there's never any seeing differences. It's always seeing sameness or oneness. So there's a whole different way of seeing. Yeah. Remember lesson number 28? Above all else, I am determined. Really? I'm determined to see things differently. Really? So how do you do that? You blink or wink or wince or I don't know. No, it has nothing to do with the body. I am not a body. Let's start there. I am not a body. If you're not a body, then you can only be spirit. And spirit doesn't have eyes. Spirit just extends, sees love. That's what spirit is. Spirit is love. I am spirit, lesson 97. God is love. I am as God created me. Wow. So in lesson 138, he's really giving you the you can call it the way to see as spirit sees. I mean, he tells it to you in so many other places, but he's telling you here that if you really want to see heaven now and not wait until your body says bye-bye, as Tibetan Book of the Dead says, if you die before you die, you don't die when you die. So that means it's possible to be in heaven right now. Not only is it possible, that's what the entire atonement is about. And that's your only responsibility, is to accept the atonement for yourself. When? Not after you finish the book, not God knows when in time. Now. That's the only time you can be in heaven, is right now. And heaven is a decision I must make now by extending. And if I'm in heaven, which we all are, with certainty, I don't know where the if came from. We are in heaven now with certainty. That's what salvation is. Only salvation can be said to cure. Only salvation can be said to cure. Salvation is nothing but the innocence, the certainty, the perfection, the love, the kindness, the gentleness. Where is guilt now? Where is guilt now? What is guilt? When you are the certain, holy, complete, perfect Son of God. Hi, Karen. So with that, I'm going to ask if anyone would like to share anything. I'm complete. Hi, Karen.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I was listening on the radio. What a great conversation. I heard Dove singing and I said, I got to get on. I love when he starts to sing. Um, heaven is the decision I must make. And it just reminded me that the Course asks us twice, why wait for heaven? Delay is tragic in time. Why do we wait when we really never left? You know, we just believe, as Lori was talking about, these beliefs. Yesterday's lesson, what you think you are is a belief to be undone. Heaven is the decision I must make to remember the truth of what I am, to remember the truth of what my brother is. And I love what Dove shared, that, you know, everything is a metaphysical principle when seen correctly. And that reminds me of Ken Wapnick's teaching that the Holy Spirit is 100% love, and the ego is 100% hate / fear, whichever way you want to, you know, look at it. A lot of people don't like the word hate. So if we look at it that way, Dove's right, because if they're 100% love is not of this world, there's not a love of this world that can bring perfect happiness. It's changing all the time. So the only way that we can get to that right-minded perception is through the Holy Spirit in our mind, to go above the battleground and see everyone as perfect. The Holy Spirit, the one quote that's been coming up for me a lot lately is that perfection is how does it go? It just lost me. I was like, the Holy Spirit sees only perfection. That's not it. That's not the quote. I sent it to you this morning, Dove, and now it just left my mind. But oh yeah, right-minded seeing sees only perfection. That's it. And that's it. That is it. That everything is perfect. Everyone is playing their part perfectly. And when I can see that and recognize that, the only one problem I have is the belief that everything is not perfect and everyone is not playing their part perfectly because they're not doing it the way I think they should, because I want things to be different. What a tiny mad idea. So yeah, that's really all. Thanks, Dove. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, right-minded seeing sees only perfection. Actually, that's exactly what I was really saying. When you see as spirit sees, everything is meta. Nothing is physical. Nothing is physical. To see physical is to use projection makes perception. You're looking at a wall. When you use projection, there's got to be something out there to throw the hot potato or your football out for someone to get it. That's called a screen, a movie screen, a wall. Seems very solid. It's not. Yes, Karen.
Yeah. He says something about that. It's like a wall of granite. And it feels like that. But the course also talks about the great raise. And that's there's two ways to look at that. You know, there's the way above the battleground through the Holy Spirit, you know, both ways. One is of the world and one isn't of the world. And I've heard Ken teach about that. Like there's knowledge and then there's true perception as far as the great race. And I'm not getting into it because I'm not Ken. So, but one thing that came to me this morning with the great race is in chapter 16 in the Bridge to the Real World, where he says, in seeing them and seeing the great race and seeing them, the body would disappear because its value would be lost. And so your whole investment in seeing it would be withdrawn from it. So when we see through the great rays, the vision of Christ, the Holy Spirit's vision, the light, the true light, which is a state of mind that covers everything and everyone, then the value of the body disappears, and I can look beyond the body to the truth. And that's where I'm really practicing. For me, it's this body that I can't even still look at in the mirror without getting upset after the surgery. And so I'm practicing actually being able to look at the light and seeing the light, not physical light, because it's not seeing light in outside of my mind, but in my mind, seeing beyond the body, seeing that this is not the truth of what I am, and that I can be at peace no matter what my body looks like, what my body feels like, what the hell is going on around me. And it's withdrawing the investment and seeing it the way the ego sees it, which is an upside down way of seeing it. So I just wanted to share that. Thanks.
Okay, Gloria, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Wonderful sharing. I've been listening. And what was coming to me is that there really is no wall. The wall is the images, the false concepts that we're projecting from that unhealed mind. So the wall is always the shadow of the past, the shadows coming from our past associations, because there's nothing there, because this is all happening at the level of mind. So I love today's lesson. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. And it goes along with God is my strength, vision is his gift. So when we recognize that true vision is the light, but the light is not something we see with the body's eyes. The light is the truth of understanding of what I am, beingness, isness. So that's where he talks today about the gift of vision. And we can only achieve and recognize that. That's say recognize, because it's just a matter of remembering what we truly are. So that's why we're offered the holy instant, the instant of oneness, where we move into that experience of what I am. And in that quiet mind, where he's talking today about, you know, it's really, what is God's strength but forgiveness? And what is forgiveness but the relinquishment of judgment? And what is the relinquishment of judgment but the acceptance of what I am in truth, where there is no projection of fear and guilt? There's just rest in what I am. So it all kind of ties together in, the true healing being the acceptance of my spiritual identity. And the miracle's just waiting on our welcome. And the miracle is that experience of the Spirit of God. So it's really our choice. And it comes back always to the willingness to recognize I see only the past. I recognize that if I'm thinking about the future, it's the projection of my unhealed self. It's imagined. This is all imagination. And we can wake up this moment now. Now, there is no time. There is no space. That's why today's lesson is so profound. And it's, for me, I fine tooth comb it all throughout the day, because that's the answer. Miracles are seen in light and strength are one. And what is strength but the power of God, the realization of what I am? Thanks.
Thank you so much, Gloria. And I see Steve's. Steve, are you a Kohen? I see that you use the five fingers of the hand, which is usually a Kohen, but that's up to you. Steve, go ahead.
I love what you were sharing, Glorian, is that right now what's happening is, for example, this phenomenal moment. I'm speaking into my cell phone. Air is passing through my vocal cords. And I can, with my lips and mouth, create these words which go to my cell phone that somehow go to some tower. It gets communicated through the air into your cell phone or iPad or whatever your list computer. And the vibration is hitting your flat eardrum. And it is vibrating a nerve into your brain, and you understand in this moment. I love that right now we are sharing this phenomenal thing that can't be all explained linearly, scientifically. There's a wonderment involved. and it's in the present, which is a phenomenal, undefinable, you can't really limit it to scientific measurement at a certain level. So right now, the world, not of perception, but in this moment, this, not a belief, not an idea, this experience of the sharing of this moment of life with each other is enough for me. I don't need to go jump into any kind of beliefs. It's more about experiencing this moment now. As a matter of fact, it keeps coming to me that nothing ever happened ever. The Mount Vesuvius never blew in the past or future. Everything that ever happened happens right now.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
And this is what we are sharing. It includes everything, including the body, the earth, the stars, everything. And to deny this gift of breath is to be kind of an ungrateful receiver of the gift of life that I have oftentimes ignored. And so it's wonderful to be sharing with you all this moment right now. I'm complete.
Anyone else?
All right. Thanks you guys so very much. Uh, we made it without Sharon, yay. Everybody's doing such a beautiful job of sharing this morning. I'm so grateful for you all.